Let's jump over to our next topic, which does involve, it kind of involves, Xbox Studios, of course. So we talked about this briefly, very, very briefly, many months back, right? After the Bethesda purchase was finalized. Once that purchase was done, set in stone, whatever, we were seeing a lot of reports from insiders saying that, Xbox is gearing up for another big purchase. And they were saying that this next one is going to be greater than Bethesda, where it's like, okay, I mean, yes, there are studios greater than Bethesda, but that's big.
That's a lot of money.
That's a point as well. It's like, when we're saying greater Bethesda, do we just mean the money? Do we mean like, the studio? It's going to be big, obviously. But now there's been some new rumors kind of popping up right now where it's just like, it's gearing up to be announced. Because initially when this came out, the initial reaction, the initial news was like, it'll either be announced at the end of 2021 or beginning of 2022. So these kind of popping out now, it makes sense that we're potentially gearing up for it. So who could it be? Obviously with the Bethesda purchase, that hit a lot of PlayStation players in the gut because, they're not going to get Starfield. Doesn't seem like they're going to get any more new Fallouts or Elder Scrolls, at least from what Xbox and Microsoft are saying. Deathloop was a already agreed upon game as well as Ghostwire Tokyo. But man, who could it be? Who could it be that this giant purchase could be involved with? I don't know why, but for some reason it's sticking out to me because when it's saying greater than Bethesda, it's like, who all is going to be greater than Bethesda besides like the main 3 publishers? You know what I mean? The ones that make consoles. Besides those, who is greater than Bethesda? I mean, there are some, but they're very rare and in between. Mm-hmm. So is Microsoft like, are they about to buy Take-Two? Are they about to buy Ubisoft? I don't know, man. That's insane. What's your thoughts?
I mean, my thinking was along that same lines, like Ubisoft, Take-Two, maybe EA. I mean, EA would be big, but that would also be a friggin' trigger show because, well, maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe if Microsoft takes EA, we get less loot boxes. Less microtransactions.
That's true.
That might actually be a win.
That might be a big dub.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking something like that. I know I jokingly said they're going to take Sony.
Oh, yeah, you did. See, I will say some of my initial thoughts before we got like the sayings that, it's going to be bigger than Bethesda. Some of my initial thoughts is, they're going to buy like Capcom. They're going to buy Sega. Sega was one of my top ones. I really thought, like, I still think it's possible down the line that Microsoft will swoop in and buy Sega. Someone will buy Sega. Eventually, it's just a matter of who. Personally, I would just like to see Nintendo buy them. That's my personal opinion. But but greater than Bethesda, I mean, man, I for some reason, Take-Two is sticking out to me. I don't know why. I want to believe not because of how Take-Two has like so many different things they have going on where they don't need to be purchased. I mean, Bethesda didn't either. But it's just like, with Rockstar under their umbrella, all the 2K stuff that they do, they don't, it's like, okay, well, you can really stand on your own. So I don't know, maybe Ubisoft. I think, with the amount of drama that Ubisoft was dealing with last year, they're kind of in a rocky spot, kind of makes sense. Imagine that, dude. Imagine Microsoft comes in and buys Ubisoft. Imagine Assassin's Creed being an Xbox exclusive going forward. Assassin's Creed Infinity that we've talked about. This online hub game, whatever, being an Xbox exclusive. That would be insane.
Would it?
I would safely assume it would be. I mean, they're not willing to share the Bethesda stuff. If they're, and especially if it's going to be a shit ton of money like Bethesda was, if it's going to, like, they're not going to share the properties. They're just not. If you're spending that much money for whatever you're buying, you're not going to share the properties.
Well, I don't know. I mean, buying Ubisoft would be a great boon for Microsoft and making their games exclusive, but specifically Assassin's Creed, I don't know. Everyone's still on the fence about Infinity. We'll see how that goes.
That is true.
Ubisoft licenses in general, though, would be good, though.
Yeah. That and Far Cry, too.
Yeah. And Ubisoft's also Siege.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right, I'm gonna take the money line. I'm gonna take Ubisoft. That's who they're gonna buy. Whenever this purchase does happen, if it is like we are assuming from everything that we've heard about, pretty much on 2 different occasions this year, I'm looking forward to seeing how much the internet's going to explode from it. I'm gonna go ahead and put money on Ubisoft.
Curious, what would you think about if they took BioWare?
Ooh, well, hang on. I guess they could technically do that. They would just have to work out a deal with EA, right? Because BioWare is just under EA, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they just have to work out a deal. I mean, I would be cool with that. I'd be cool with that.
But that also, I thought of that, but at the same time, I was like, would you consider that greater than Bethesda? I mean, BioWare has some good games, but
maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 years ago.
So I I threw that out there, but at the same time, I was like, would BioWare consider better than Bethesda right now?
No, not today. 10 years ago, maybe they'd be in contention. No, it'll be interesting to see, man. I'm pumped up for it. Just because, hey, shout out to Xbox for no longer taking some shit, because they took a lot of shit Xbox One generation of having no exclusives. Who has exclusives now, motherfuckers?
Still PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I know.